Okay, if you're watching this, I'm guessing that you just watched a video by VenomFangX or recently watched it and you're looking to see what the naturalistic response is to it. And here it is. This is actually a response to two videos by VenomFangX. One is Intelligent Design in Plasticine, Part 1. Part 2 seems to have not made it, or been deleted, I don't know. The second one is Refuting Atheistic Naturalism. So there's arguments from both of these that I'm going to respond to. Okay, but first I'd like to address the issue of entertainment. One thing you have to understand about people with a skeptical state of mind, people who base their beliefs on evidence, they spend a lot of time thinking. So we aren't exactly always focused on entertainment. A guy left a comment on my video before where it seemed like he actually believed VenomFangX, not because he necessarily had better arguments than me or better evidence than me, but because VenomFangX was more entertaining. Okay, and so listen, I understand. You're on YouTube, there's a lot of videos, you want them to be entertaining, and it's great when you can be both entertaining and have the truth, but I'm going to tend to focus more on the actual truth of the matter. So I'll try. I will try to be entertaining. I'll use different tones of voice. You might notice that I'm using a different tone of voice. I didn't do that in my last video. It was kind of monotone all the way through, so I'm learning here. Okay, so to start with, VenomFangX presents our world in a circle, and this circle is the universe. Naturalists think inside the universe, and the implication is that supernaturalists like VenomFangX don't. They think outside the universe. Well, here's point number one. We're both inside the circle. Supernaturalists live inside the circle too, and any observations they make come from within the universe. VenomFangX here is trying to pretend that he has some kind of view outside of the circle, but the reality is, anything we know about the Bible, anything we know about God, originated inside of the circle. It was created by people. So this claim that he's outside of the circle somehow is bogus. He's just talking about being outside the circle. But talking like you're outside the circle is not the same as being outside of the circle. The difference between a naturalistic worldview, most naturalists, and a supernaturalistic worldview really boils down not to being inside or outside the circle, but focusing your beliefs on physical evidence and rigorous tests. This is the naturalist. Or focusing it on evidence but not... So supernaturalists have evidence, but it's not rigorous. And they don't do a lot of testing on it. That tends to be the actual belief between, or the actual difference between those two belief systems. So let me give you an example. Let's say I'm a naturalist. I want to believe in fairies, naturalistic fairies. I think that they're real. Well, the first thing I'm going to ask myself is, do I have any evidence for this? Have I done any tests for this? I can't just believe this. I have to go out and get my hands dirty, go out into the world, test things, really see if this is the truth before I allow myself to believe something as huge as like fairies. I mean, do we have any evidence for that? Okay, so now let me compare this to how the typical supernaturalist tends to reason about the world. Okay, so they have some evidence, and they want to believe in God based on that evidence. Let's say my dad got cured of cancer, and we don't know how that happened, so I think that God healed him because he believed in God. And if I look around the world, it makes sense that, it makes more sense to me that this was created by God. And so I think, well, do I feel like it's true? Yeah, okay, I feel like it's true, so I'll believe it. And at this point, the naturalist's jaw drops. Are you serious? I just went through all this testing. I chose not to believe anything until I had solid evidence for it and tests supporting my beliefs. And you're just going to, boom, decide that you believe in God based off of like a couple of observations? That's where the naturalist is coming from. Okay. So, Venom Fang X here is criticizing naturalists for not going outside of the universe. But the reality is, Venom Fang X isn't going outside of his computer chair. He's just thinking in his head. He's not doing any actual tests on physical evidence like a naturalist would. I mean, except to draw circles in the snow to prove what he decided to believe in his computer chair is true. But it's a really hypocritical statement to say that naturalists aren't going outside when you're not even doing any tests for your beliefs.